Okay, hopefully that worked. Unknown, perfect. All right, so I am ready to get started. Basically, I like to do long-term trend analysis and wave analysis. We're going to start off by looking at the Bitcoin market. Go to a weekly. Definitely in a wave 3 here. Back here, it doesn't have it on Coinbase here, but we're looking at Bitcoin US dollar. I definitely think this is a primary wave 3. Basically the original move from 0 to $1,200, whatever that was, and I forget which year it was, but some years back, was basically your primary wave 1, and then everything that preceded after that was a long multi-year wave 2 corrective flat. So now it looks to me like primary wave 3 has topped, and we're in some kind of corrective wave 4 is what it looks like. We're going to go ahead and chart this on the daily. I believe this here is all of our wave 5. So what we're first going to do is pull some fibs. Okay, I usually look for the 618-786 retrace zone. I believe this is a B wave high. If we're assuming this is the top of our impulse wave 3, this to me, this right here looks impulsive down. We're going to call this our A wave, B wave retrace, and we're going to project a C wave down here. When I'm projecting a C wave, I'm generally using a 50% or 100% projection. And so for this market, it looks like we are heading down a little bit. Let's get rid of these trend lines. Yeah, I do believe we are in the final C wave down here for Bitcoin against the dollar. I can look. It looks like the beginnings of a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th wave to finish C. And I wouldn't be surprised if we double bottom here at this 10,000 mark. That would just kind of look right to me. Double bottom there for what would look pretty good for a 5-wave move. I'm just going to lighten this up. It's too bold. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, I mean, I'm really liking this ABC pattern for a double bottom at 10,000. If we don't double bottom here, if we fail at this 10,400 support, which is basically what this lower wick on this candle was right before the buyers shot it right back up. There's definitely going to be some buying interest there. If it bottoms or not, I don't know. But to me, that would look really good, having this double bottom here and complete our ABC. B wave high would be a C wave down here. If this doesn't double bottom here, I would kind of think it would at least test this lower 786 fib at 85.78, and it may go all the way down to 76.52. So those are kind of our options right now. To me, it does look like it's in a C wave. We got our 1, 2, 3, 4 working on our final 5th wave down. This looks impulsive. This looks corrective up. 1, 2 ABC, 3 wave up. And then this does look like a 1, 2, 3, 4 working on our 5th wave down. This would be our projected zone for the retrace zone, and the bottoming zone, anywhere within this blue bar between my 618-786 retrace of our 5th of 3rd. This would be a 5th wave of the entire 3rd wave, because if you go back, we've got like either this is a 1, 2 or 1, 2. This is all of 3. This would be the 5th wave here for primary 3rd. So this is looking like working in primary 4. Working on the final 5th down to finish C, either double bottom at our A bottom or all the way down lower. That's what I would think that this market is doing right now. If it does bottom in there, let me just get you some upside targets. So being conservative in this market, projected from a bottom of 7,600, I would target anywhere from 26,000 to 45,000 in Bitcoin. Anyway, that's Bitcoin right there. I'm going to try and go through some quick charts, but go ahead and take your screenshots. I'm going to leave this up for about 10 more seconds. That's what it looks like to me right now. All right, next we're going to look at everyone's favorite right now, Tron. To me, this does look like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Even though this pullback has been really brutal, it does just kind of look corrective to me. We're going to pull the larger 618-786 retrace zone. It's already in that zone. I'm also going to pull our suggested wave 3, 786, 618 retrace zone. It's kind of at the bottom right there. This would be our A impulse down, or B corrective, C corrective down, which looks like a long flat right now. And we're kind of right at I'm going to take off this 100 because we're kind of right in this zone of the 50. We got some confluence here with some multiple fibs. I mean, if this market goes all the way down here, this is definitely a goner, I feel like. But it does look like it's in the bottoming zone right here. I did just buy a tranche a little bit ago. It's at 624 sats. You know, I was looking at this in the micro. I think it bottomed right at 600. Yeah, so far, nice little push, decent volume, a little bit of a retrace. You know, I don't know. This could go lower, obviously. Lower than 600 sats. I'm not sure. You know, it does just still look corrective to me, but I mean, right now, I am counting it as a wave 4. And if it is a wave 4, let's pull some upside targets. We can also pull a fib retrace of our suggested bottom right now. So this would be a projected 5th wave high zone up here, if this does indeed bottom sometime soon, over the next couple days or so. Not sure why the MACD keeps going away.
You just double click on in the middle of the chart and it should come back.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's very helpful.
No problem.
All right, next we're going to look at Verge. I'm going to go ahead and remove drawing tools if that's okay. Verge looks a lot like a lot of other charts in the market right now that I've seen. Very corrective looking. We got impulsive over here and then corrective here. But let's go ahead and detail this down. It looks like we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulse. Good volume. MACD is trending up. Good. This is definitely a corrective. It looks like a triangle. We are on the 4. Let's go back to the daily. I generally like to look at the daily, everybody, daily or weekly charts. But that 5 up looks good. This does look like a triangle here. We've got our down sloping upper trend line there. We've got our upward sloping lower trend line here. We got our A, B, C, D. Hopefully E bottom around here. This looks pretty good for A, B, C, D, E triangle. MACD is resetting. Good. Lower volume on the pullback. It looks like a 1, 2 to me. I'm in this market. I'm a buyer here. This looks fantastic. Pull the lower, larger fibs here. Yep, we got a nice little bounce and touch right here at 618. Hasn't gone down, touch it since. Let's pull our 5th wave fib. Okay, we're in the 5th wave 618786 fib zone. I mean, this is a fantastic zone to buy this market. We'll get our 5th wave extension for wave 3 targets.
Just so you know, viewership has grown by about 120 on Twitch. We're up to almost 500 wow. Since you joined. It's great. Thanks for watching, guys.
Very good. All right, here's our upward targets here. Nice little triangle, 1, 2 flag. Let's go ahead and chart this out on Elliott wave. All right, guys, this looks like a great market to buy. Looks like a 1, 2 flag, our wave 2 triangle, consolidating, MACD reset, lower volume. Looks really good here. XVG, Verge. Take your screenshots, guys. How are we doing on time? Let's see, 9:12. All right, I'm doing pretty good. How's the pace? Does everyone think it's too fast, too slow? No response. All right, I'll just keep it going. Let's do it.
People in Twitch say my mind is about to explode.
Yeah, so sorry guys. I mean, I know I'm kind of going quick. I'm basically pulling resistance, or not resistance, support fibs, usually a 618786. I look at all of my 5 wave impulse, and I also look at the most previous wave 5, to get my zones. I also pull A equals C projections to get my a secondary zone. For those not familiar with wave analysis, I simply look for a basic 5 up, 3 down pattern. 5 up patterns are impulsive in nature. 3 wave corrective patterns are called corrective or retrace or pessimistic in nature. I do long-term trading, long-term trend analysis. I like to find a market where it's in a 1-2. This is a fantastic example of a kind of market that I personally like to buy. I've got 8 years trading experience in the stock markets, futures, options, forex, and I'm fairly new to crypto, but these charts are looking very, very nice as I seek the landscape. So here's Verge against Bitcoin. Looks good for a 1-2, hopefully 3-wave higher here.
So do you expect the third wave to really hit like 4,500 to 5,000 Satoshi? Or are you just showing potential for an outbreak?
Yeah, absolutely. Up here, minimum, probably around this zone here. Let's see, it was at 2,600. Generally, I'm seeing the next extensions go pretty good, and then pull back into these zones here. So this is what I would look for. Anywhere within this yellow to red zone would be projected targets. Yes. We do need to see a breakout of this triangle, obviously, on good volume. If it breaks below our lower triangle trend line on good volume and just starts tanking, then this count is wrong, and it would basically violate my count, especially if we go below our A wave here, our suggested A wave, right? That means if we just start dropping on heavy volume, big sellers come into the market, go below our A wave, then we're in serious trouble. Below this zone, then the markets, to me, just I got to get out. So this would be my absolute danger zone below here, below 488 Satoshis. Is that right? Yep. Somewhere around there. But I am a buyer here. This does look good. I do believe we're going to go higher here.
Yeah, I think Mike and I talked about this a little bit last night. We see a pump like around every 4 days, and I think sometime later today into the 15th is when we see that huge pulse come up after this slight A through E. So yeah, we kind of touched on this last night. Not sure how high it's going to go. Based on the history, it's been 1,700 to 1,400, anywhere in that range.
All right, same. We're going to look at ADA Bitcoin chart here. I'm going to start off by pulling my fibs. Let's pull the larger fib here. Fib retrace. Looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shorter fifth wave, but that's okay. It's got the general 5-wave shape. This to me looks pretty interesting because you can see I just pulled a 618, 786 retrace of our suggested wave 5. The last 2 candles, daily candles that jumped into the zone, saw buyers immediately, and also in an uptrend, generally buying at the 21 EMA here. My moving average is always a good buy. To me, this daily candle looks fairly impulsive. I'm going to go ahead and count this market as a completed ABC retrace. And simply because there's another line that it's kind of respecting right now, we're going to do so if this is our A wave, we're going to project this as our B wave high right here on this candle. And I believe it is bouncing off of the 50. We need a different color for that, don't we? We'll go yellow. Okay, it did kind of bounce off of that zone. I'm going to go ahead and default because, again, this candle looks impulsive to me, and this does look corrective. Let's go ahead and zoom in and just see what we're looking at. So if this is our suggested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, suggested ABC down, to me looks done simply because that daily candle looks good. We've got good volume. It shot up, bought up above our suggested B wave. Let's go ahead and chart the ABC. We're going to say this is our C down. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Definitely buyers as soon as we, stepped into this market a little bit, into this zone. Let's look at the 2-hour. Yeah, that kind of looks like a triangle to me, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we've got, somewhat of a 5-wave move up here for impulse. Good volume. MACD's trending up. Let's go ahead and get a trend line on this MACD. Nice trending MACD. That looks good.
Got a comment here on Twitch from Heart Love. I bet a lot of people's minds are being blown by thinking in charts longer than 1 hour.
I'm a very slow trader, guys. I've done the whole day trading thing and been in the whole mindset of I got to make X dollars per day or whatever. For me personally, it never really worked out. I tended to stress myself out. I lost a lot of money doing stuff like that. I would make irrational decisions. I never had objectivity when looking at markets. I was always an emotional trader when I went to the lower time frame. So I like to zoom out. I like to catch those larger trends. I had a mentor who hammered the lazy river philosophy into me over many years, and it really is for me the best way to approach markets. So what I just did, I pulled up this kind of still looks corrective over here. This looks like the beginning of our 5-wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 initial impulse up on the 1 hour. I pulled that 618, 786 retrace, a little nice zone here. Definitely looks like a triangle to me for right here on the 1 hour.
And Trader Alexander here, we can't thank you enough for your time and for honestly your perspective, because a lot of us are very rapid fire. A lot of us are doing the scalping, but seeing it from your perspective really adds so much value to helping some of the new guys and even some of the seasoned guys as well.
Absolutely, man. Awesome. Happy to help. I've been trading a long time. I've seen it all. I've made every mistake. Believe me, I've blown up my fair share of accounts. I should be charging 10 grand for this tonight. So here it is for free.
Soak it up, guys. Firing on all cylinders. Trader Unknown. Love it.
Thank you. Here we go. It looks like a triangle. ABCDE down. That looks good in the zone in my 786 618 retrace zone. To me, that looks like a nice little 1-2 to start. We got an uptrending MACD on the hourly. This looks like an ABC. That looks very corrective. This looks like our impulse 5-wave down. ABC up for B. Kind of a flat for our C wave down on our primary wave 2. To me, this looks fantastic. Got a 1-2 primary, a micro 1-2 here. I'm definitely a buyer in this zone. I have been buying this market right around this C wave low. Looks good. Let's pull some upside fibs, and then this chart will be done. We're going to take our entire suggested 1-2, project from our C wave low, and we're going to look for 100% and 200% projection for selling zone. We will also grab the extension of our 5th wave high to our wave 2 suggested low. There would be the zone for wave 3. Primary 1 here, wave 2 pullback there, wave 3, that looks good. A 100% projection as well is in, actually anywhere this would look good too. It's always hard to see how high it goes. You just kind of got to watch the market, but they've been doing pretty good on these wave 3s, especially these nice consolidations. Here's our larger trend in play. Something like that. Yeah, this looks good. ADA, I like it.
So a question on Twitch, should wave 3 be the longest in these markets?
Generally, I've been seeing wave fives be pretty strong. Usually in traditional markets, it is wave three, but it's kind of a mix in these markets. Some wave threes have been better, some wave fives have been better. No hard rule on that, I don't think. All right, I better start going a little quicker here. So this one looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking at APPC now. Let's draw the larger fib.
The selective use of the fibs too.
I really like the 618 and 786. That's just kind of my go-to fib. Looks like we've got some triangles here. Pull some upside targets for wave 5. As well as a projection. So that looks like a good zone for top of wave 5. This looks pretty good. Definitely looks like a long flat here for wave 4. A couple of triangles. Wave 2 and wave 4 look like triangles here. But I do like this market. Uptrending MACD. Looks like it's bottomed. Heading up. Looks good. Bottoming in that 786 retrace zone that I like. All right, next let's look at XRP. To me, XRP does look like a completed 5-wave up on the daily. I believe that is 5 right there. I believe this is our ABC. This to me did look impulsive. I mean, it's pulling back a little bit further than I would have liked it to. But this did look impulsive. Let's pull that retrace. I mean, it's right at the bottom of the zone there. you know, for me to really like this as the C wave low, this really kind of needs to bottom in this zone over the next couple of days and possibly start to get out of it on the upside. Otherwise, I'm going to question this ABC count, but this is how I'm counting it right now.
Could you potentially move the 5 to the where that A through C correction is, to where the B is? Could that possibly be the 5 in that fifth wave?
Yeah, it could. But to me, that looks very B wave-ish, just because it's made on lower volume, and this is all just kind of corrective looking. Like this doesn't really look impulsive to me. I would call this, you know, corrective looking for sure.
Okay, cool.
So I am kind of counting this as a B wave high over the 5.
Nice. I appreciate the insight. Thanks.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, I mean, you can see it was made on lower volume, but also it just doesn't have that impulsive, you know, look for a fifth wave.
So do you feel when the volume just kind of makes a huge jump, you call it basically the impulse there?
Yeah, when you have higher highs and prices being made on lower volume, that's basically less consensus of, you know, market activity. So it just could mean, you know, it's kind of saying that there's less trades happening at the higher prices, or, you know, kind of a signal of exhaustion or of the market kind of just needing a rest.
Awesome. Thank you.
One two seven two might be too low. I'm gonna go ahead and take it off. So if Ripple has bottomed, I definitely like these upside targets. Has it actually bottomed? I don't really know, but I just watch this zone here of this suggested C bottom and what I thought, you know, what it looked to me kind of impulsive. It is selling off, you know, fairly significantly from there, but this zone is what I'm watching now. Next, I'd be watching this zone in here. I am long this market currently. I do own this market for the long run.
Hey, real quick, while I have a moment, Trader.
Go ahead.
A lot of people are asking, who is this? Who is this? I know we have it in the title, but do you have like a Twitter or any social media you'd like me to put in there anytime someone asks for that? I don't mind at all.
You know, actually, I do not. You know, I've never been a big social media guy. I just don't have it. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. We have your LTC address and Nightbot helping us out there as well. So yeah, again, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, no problem. Well, thank you. Hope everyone is enjoying what I'm showing. This kind of all looks corrective here to me, but this definitely looks impulsive here. For Litecoin, kind of looks like a wave 4 flat to me. Let's say this is our 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave higher. Didn't even make it to the 786. Let's see what it looks like higher. So I kind of found a quick bottom in the 382 50% retracement zone. It definitely had a nice little bounce out of that. It looks pretty good. If this is our AB projection of CU 50, oh, that's a 100% projection. Actually, that looks really good. All right, we've got confluence of a 50% retracement level, as well as a 100% A equals C projection here for our wave 4 flat. Let's also grab our wave 3 retracement. Another zone of confluence. So we've got 3 fib hits right at this zone. This looks really, really good, guys. Whenever you have multiple fibs lining up in confluence right there, as well as a volume spike and a bounce, that looks really good for our ABC finished correction there. So that would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th wave higher to come in Litecoin against Bitcoin. Grab our upside retracement targets. As well as upside projection targets. Somewhere around this zone for top of wave 5. This looks good. Litecoin looks very good. Let's go through Salt. Looking at the daily chart here.
Trader Unknown, you need anything in here? Music?
No, I'm okay. I mean, unless it's fine. Maybe some light music would be okay. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely, I got you. I appreciate you being on.
Sure. This chart, I like this chart. It looks definitely looks like the beginning of a nice bull market. You can see the uptrending MACD here on the daily. That's good. This looks like a 1, 2 to me, 3, 4. Might not be done with 4. That kind of looks like a B wave right there. So let's go ahead and chart that out. We'll pull a larger fib here.
So even though the volume spike was high, just because it wasn't higher, that's why we're identifying it as a potential B.
Yeah, you mean, it doesn't. It kind of has that impulsive corrective look, but to me, look at we've got kind of a topward down trending MACD. So we've got a downward sloping up trending line on the MACD. We've got a upward sloping, bottom trending, uptrending line on the MACD. So this, to really see wave 5, we would want to see the MACD kind of bottom and then, kind of eject out of this downtrending line here on the MACD. You can see the MACD is kind of in the triangle as well,
Yeah,
but to me, this just doesn't look that impulsive. This, if this was the beginning of wave 5, it shouldn't read. It should. Let's pull the retrace and see what that looks like. Yeah, I mean, we're in the zone, but we got that downtrending MACD. Volume isn't huge. I just don't think this retrace is over yet, because this looks impulsive down. This kind of looks corrective up. there's our 100% A equals C projection. That would look better to me. That would be then a big flag, right? Kind of like that. And we can get our upside projections. As well as an extension. Yeah, somewhere in this zone looks good to me. But to me, I think we do need a C wave down to finish our ABC correction here. That one is salt. Did I already do this one? Yeah, I think I did. All right, let's go. Let's look at Ethereum. This definitely looks like corrective. This looks like the start of an impulse. Looks pretty good. Got our 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe a 5-wave move there. I would be cautious if this is a B wave here. That does kind of look like a completed 5. Let's pull some retracement fibs.
This might sound like a silly question, but do you ever take in like human psychological round numbers for any of these projections, like Ethereum being at 0.1 of Bitcoin, for example?
Yeah, the round numbers definitely are, big numbers that traders like, especially when they line up with fibs. But fibs, the larger fib analysis is, the wave analysis is what I put more weighting to. An uptrending MACD looks good. I'm just wondering, this could be, we probably need a little 5th wave higher, actually. I bet if I zoomed in, this market looks like it could need to go higher.
This is funny. We're getting a lot of requests for different charts in the chat. And this guy, CryptoKen, is this. What he's charting is probably what you should be paying attention to. I kind of get the feeling he knows what he's doing.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, he also had this great quote before. He says, "Dress in Fibonacci and speak 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, and always follow the latest trend lines." I love that.
So this actually does kind of look like a 5 up, and you can see we're making equal highs on lower volume. Where's that MACD at? Let's see what that looks like. So we got a downtrending MACD as well. Look at that, guys. So we've got lower high on the MACD. It's downtrending, right? And an equal high in price. This is kind of why I suspect, now looking at it closer, this does look like a completed 5. So I'm going to go ahead and treat it as such. Let's zoom back out on the daily. believe that was support fib right there. Yep. We're going to go ahead and use this as our suggested ABC. We'll pull a projection of that. Yeah, this zone here, it could double bottom in the 82,000 Satoshi zone. Yeah, Ethereum kind of looks like a B-wave high to me. That does look like a completed 5 right now. Either way, I can't buy it here. It could go higher, but to me, this does look like at least the nice 5 up. We need to see the 3 down. If that is the case, guys, then Ethereum is going much, much higher. Because when you have a 5 up, 3 down, that means you're in a bull market and you've got a larger degree 1, 2, which means larger prices. And to pull some upside targets, let's just go ahead and do some projections. The extension zone doesn't look high enough to me. This would look right if it was in this higher projection zone for all of wave 1. This extensions look pretty low. So I know Mike likes those larger extensions. I generally, when I'm looking at extensions, I look at the 2618 or the 1618 or the 1272. Otherwise, I'm looking for a projected zone to find my target zones. But to me, it looks like we're in a bit of a corrective mode here in Ethereum, ultimately headed for higher prices. All right, we're going to start looking at some weekly charts that I really like. I know I'm getting, let's see, 15 minutes, 48 minutes in. I've got a couple more charts I'd like to go through real quick, and then I guess we can take some Q&A. This looks really good. This looks like an ABC correction to me. Fantastic. We're looking at a weekly chart here. Definitely our 1-2 impulse here in a primary weekly third. I'm going to have to use fib retracement for these upside targets because I don't think we have enough data here on the, I think I'm on the Binance one. So anywhere in the zone looks good for projected third wave. We're definitely, a little late, but, you're about halfway through this third wave on the weekly. I believe this chart's going to go definitely higher. If we look at the daily, we can chart the wave count that's in the third. Uptrending MACD for our wave 2 bottom. Higher high and the MACD divergent. This kind of looks like an extended fifth. For me, this chart is less about the daily chart, but more about the weekly chart. I'm pretty sure this one is firing off a weekly squeeze as well. I know Mike likes to talk about that squeeze. In my opinion, whenever you're in a weekly squeeze and it fires off, it generally means you're in a wave 3. So I don't think you can go wrong by buying NEO. And I'm pretty sure gas looks the exact same way. Yep. Here's our little ABC corrective. Looks like we're in a weekly third. Upside zone here. I really like weekly charts, more of that lazy river philosophy for myself. Low and slow. That's how I like to do it.
Like the barbecue. We should be just able to double click at the middle probably. Or if this works, that's fine too, yeah.
That didn't work.
I have to add the MACD back in then probably.
That's all right. Well, the whole thing went away. That sucks. Let's see. Did I just screw it by saving it? I think I pressed the wrong button there. Dang it.
No big deal.
All right, I'm going to look at a couple more charts here, and I'll end with my favorite chart right now. Not this one, but I do like this chart a lot. To me, definitely a weekly third. I think it's already in its primary fourth. Let's go ahead and pull support fibs for our wave from our wave 3. Maybe a 50 in there too. Looks like it topped just over that 1618. extension. Maybe this only pulls 50% retracement here. Looks like it already hit it. Now it's bouncing. So wave primary 4 could be over. Either way, I like this market a lot for the long term. WTC. All right, last chart I'm going to look at. This is my favorite chart right now. Excellent buying opportunity, in my opinion. We're going to look at HSR. All right, first things first, we've got an uptrending MACD that looks fantastic. You can see as we're kind of grinding sideways in price, kind of in corrected muck a little bit. We've got the MACD uptrending on the daily. We've got some heavy volume coming in that looks great to me. Here's our impulsive 5-wave down for A. Here's our B. Here's our long C wave flat. If we pull a projection, kind of looks like 50% to me. Grab our A wave, project it from the top of our B wave. Yep, about 50%, right in the zone there. We got kind of a triangle here. I like this volume. That does kind of look impulsive and corrective to me. Let's go ahead and pull that fib retrace. Right in that zone where I like to buy. I don't know, to me this looks good, guys. We've got that uptrending MACD, you know, diverging on positive divergence. This looks corrective. We got a nice little triangle forming, decent little 1-2 impulse, and beyond that the volume's really there.
The volume's thick.
Yeah, that's really interesting to me. I'm gonna get rid of this one because I don't think it's gonna go down that low. But to me, it's right in the zone where I like this chart a lot, guys. Looks really good. If that is our bottoming zone, let's just grab a upside projection real quick. All right, there would be an upside projection zone if this is a kind of our bottoming zone. I am a buyer in this market. I do like this a lot. It may churn in here for a while. It may not, but there's definitely heavy volume coming in, which means to me there's interest coming into this market. All right, so I just kind of went through a full hour of charts. Thank you for the uninterruptions. I appreciate that. Is there anyone scheduled to go on after me, or do you want to field questions for the next 10-15 minutes?
Oh, we're cool, man. If you want to take questions, we're good.
Yeah, okay. Does anyone have any questions?
Not just chart questions, guys. Questions about what you saw.
Questions do not include specific coins for him to chart. Okay. Let's talk about philosophy. Let's talk about his particular technique. Let's talk about things you learned today, things you want to learn next time he's on next week. How do I get good? All right, that's a good start. Let's keep rolling here. Who is Trader Unknown? He is an unknown trader. Next question. Does news, positive and negative, impact the TA? I guess I would say the TA is independent of news, but
I would say that as well. And with Elliott wave analysis, and here's the Elliott wave perspective on news. Basically, Elliott wave analysis is kind of a derivative of Fibonacci sequence, golden ratio, Fibonacci, all that stuff. Basically, with Elliott wave, you're basically tracking and charting the sentiment, the human emotion when it comes to humans and money, and it's kind of follows the same basic pattern. But Elliott wave says that at the height of your pessimistic of your optimistic waves is when you have the most bullish news, right? Sometimes you'll have just the most amazing, most bullish news at the top of markets, and the Elliott wave theory is that the news comes after the fact of the natural pessimistic and optimistic forces already in play, which is why sometimes you'll see the most bullish positive news at the top of markets and the most bearish pessimistic news come out at the bottom of markets. And I've seen that a lot of times in the regular stock markets over the years.
On that note, real quick, Nightbot just put us out an LTC address specific to Trader Unknown. We are accepting donations to our Discord community and Twitch community, but for this particular segment, there are specific donation addresses to Trader Unknown as well. So if you missed that, definitely look up that as well. Stench Cow says, is there a way to tell beforehand whether it's an AC or an AE?
A lot of times when I'm charting corrective waves, I'll think it's an ABC, and a lot of times it just morphs into an ABCDE. There's really no way to tell, until it happens. With the corrective waves, you kind of want to just look for that impulsive or non-impulsive look. When a market's kind of downtrending or moving sideways, that's definitely kind of your corrective looking markets. And to really help me gauge impulsive versus corrective is I do like to see some volume come in on an impulsive wave and less volume on a corrective wave. This chart is interesting because so much volume's coming in, but to me this does kind of look like a bottoming triangle pattern.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Do you ever go back? I know you're charting the Elliott waves on like the 1 day candle. Do you ever go back and try to readjust as on a day-to-day basis, or maybe you go back to something like a week or a few days later?
Yeah, generally we'll kind of look at my counts and see what's happening, and maybe peek in every now and again. And sometimes I'll have to adjust my counts for sure. Sometimes I'll be wrong, right? I'm not always right when I'm making assumptions or making suggestions of, here's my suggested 1, 2, or things like that. So yes, I'm constantly updating, and a lot of Elliott wave is about probabilities and what looks right. I kind of obviously go for those larger charts. I analyze from the top down, try and find those larger trends in force, and then kind of dig it down when I need to. I'm gonna go back to the ADA chart just to. Just to give an example here, because I was charting ADA as an ABC retrace until it morphed into a triangle on me. So just a closer zoom in of this. So when I was charting this in real time, I believe it was last night, if not the night before, I had that AB 5-wave impulsive down, and I projected this as my C wave low, and I was actually buying the C wave low right around 5,800 Satoshis. But it just kind of, it looked good at first, and I was like, okay, great, there's my C wave low. We bottomed in micro 1-2, but it hit this lower high here and then turned down lower. Then, you know, after I saw that and looked at it, and I said, okay, it's starting to look like a triangle now. Let's remove my suggested ABC, turn it into an ABCDE, and it looks like it looks kind of like it's bottoming and it's starting the next impulse. A little bit of volume coming in. I would like to see more, but to me, this does look like a micro flag on our next little impulse out of my suggested ABCDE down triangle.
Nugan 120, great question. Do you avoid reading news to prevent any bias into your charting?
Yes, I do. I don't follow Twitter. Like I said earlier in the pod or in the stream, I don't have a Twitter account. I don't have a Facebook. I've just never really followed that kind of stuff. To me, it's all about the charts because money talks and bullshit walks, and the money never lies. The money will always kind of tell you what it's doing in the charts.
Love it. Can Elliott wave theory help me get a girlfriend? Not Archer says.
Don't know about that one. Not here for life coaching tips. Sorry. Maybe if you make a lot of money using Elliott waves, then you can, you know, attract an attractive girl. Maybe some. I don't know.
Okay, probably a little bit too complex of a question. Maybe you can touch on it briefly. Frog Stomped AUS says, can you please go over your take profit and stop loss strategy for when you enter a trade?
Yeah, I'm having a little trouble in that regard in this market. It's a little. I'm used to stock markets and options and futures and stuff like that. So I'm still struggling myself with what the ideal profit and exit strategies are. Right now, I'm using a very simplistic approach. I'm looking for 100% gainers, and when I get my 100% gainer, I take 50% of the position off immediately, and let kind of the rest ride. You know, at that point, it becomes a free asset. So taking 50% off at 100% is definitely not an unwise thing to do. For me, I definitely am doing that right now. Some of them, you know, this first 2 weeks of January have been really tough. A lot of these charts are kind of mired in some kind of a corrective retrace, it feels like. December, I kind of hit it out of the park. But definitely for the last 2 weeks, my Bitcoin balance has kind of just been staying within a 2 Bitcoin range. And I haven't made any really trades over the last week. I think I made like 2, maybe 3 trades over this past week. I only hit one of my 100% BOGO targets, my buy one get one scale out, and a lot of my other positions I'm just kind of waiting. Like I'm in a lot of the stuff that I charted tonight, TRX and ADA, XRP, that kind of thing. So for as far as exits, I'm still struggling with what the ideal situation is here. So I don't really know. You're going to kind of have to go on your own there. Like if you like to take quick scalps and just, you know, grind some quick Satoshis, and if it's working for you, by all means, you know, do what works for you as a trader. For me, I like to trade very slow. I'm not that great at micro scalping or day trading or that kind of thing.
Some comments here. This guy is what I want to grow up to be.
Well, thanks.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Let's go over a really new question here. Secret Police has asked us a couple times, and I just want to touch on it real quick. How can I get over the mental barrier of getting into a trade?
You know, as a trader, there's really only 2 things you can do. You know, because everything else is kind of out of your control. The only 2 things you have control over is your entry and your risk management. You know, if you just kind of strategize your entries instead of just, you know, willy-nilly, oh, I'm going to buy this market, or this looks okay, I'm going to buy this market. You kind of want to, you know, wait in the weeds and watch a market, see what it's doing, watch how it progresses. You never want to chase, you know, a market higher because you could always be buying a top. For me, I like to watch for an impulsive move and then a corrective retrace, and I pull those fib zones. I look for that 5-wave move up. You know, if you're lucky, you can get in on a micro 1-2 for like ADA, for example. We're looking at the 1 hour chart here. I mean, there's a very micro 1-2 there. That was probably not even the start of it. Here's the real 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks more legit. You can see here it was that initial impulse up on good volume, especially good volume relative to historical volume. Your volume or your market activity is going to be one of your best indicators, guys, because what that really is showing you that there's increased interest within a specific market. But you can see here, just a standard impulsive move up on good volume. Our retrace was made on declining volume. We've got this typical flag pattern that you'll see over and over and over again. You can call it a flag, you can call it a triangle, whatever you want to call it. You will see this pattern everywhere, guys. And you can see as soon as we break out of this pattern, this little micro flag on the hourly chart here, volume increases, the market moves up. Our next wave, and here's our little micro 5 up here to get this larger trend started, right? So we've got a micro 5 up, 3, 4, 5. We've got a corrective, sideways action. This is a ABC. It probably, let's go ahead and pull a projection of our ABC. This looks like our A down. This looks like our B high. This looks like our C lower. A, B, C. Why did that not work? There we go. So it didn't even make a 100%, but it probably made a 50%. That 2. Yep, so it bottomed right below the midpoint 50% projection pivot. And I mean, I went higher. This market went really good. And look at that, guys, all on a micro 1, 2. And I guarantee you if we pull up the MACD, we'll find some positive divergence at these lower lows here. Oh, MACD's up. Let's see here. Let's see if I can bring it up. Well, we didn't have divergence, but we did have an uptrending MACD just to start off. So there's our upward higher low. So diverging MACD. Then here's the zone. So we'll actually call it right here. And look what happens. So I just drew an uptrending MACD. Look what happens when we get in our corrective. We go below that trend line, reset the MACD because now we're making, a downtrending MACD movement. But so this whole movement, this whole market, if we zoom out on the daily, this whole market started on a very tiny micro 1, 2 on the hourly chart. So that's a pretty nice wave 1. And here's that little micro 1, 2 right there. And of course, we're on the daily chart. Look at the volume come into this market after sideways accumulation. Boom, volume comes in, 1, 2, and now this market just takes off. Now we're in a larger 1, 2. I believe we've bottomed. I believe we are hopefully in our primary wave 3 higher.
Love it, man. Just a quick question here from one of our moderators, actually our founder here, Easy Cash. I had a question on Elliott waves and why they're actually your go-to tool of choice. What got you started on them? How you feel about it?
Yeah, I like. It seems to be working really well in this market. All of Elliott wave is kind of fib based. It's based on sentiment. It's kind of, it helps me stay objective about the charts rather than, get emotional about an investment or missing an investment or not seeing something. There's endless opportunities in the market to make money. There's endless opportunities in the market to also lose money. Traders need to be aware of that fact and not chase everything and not go into something without a plan. You want to have a plan for the worst that could happen or the best that could happen. And for me, I like Elliott wave because it helps me stay objective, and staying objective about an investment, about a chart, is really, really important to the psychological aspect and making wise decisions rationally instead of out of fear or greed or emotion.
Absolutely love it here. Another question on Twitch. I don't want to keep you too long. I know we're just past the hour. Crypto Monster says, how much of your bankroll do you keep liquid at any one time? I know it's pretty specific, but you could just give us a general concept.
Yeah, sure. Again, I'm very new to the crypto markets. I've only been trading the crypto markets about 6-7 weeks now. All of my experience in financial markets comes from traditional stock markets. So I'm still struggling with the ideal scenarios myself. I'm actually going to people that have been in the space longer than me and looking for advice simply because I don't know. Right now, I am kind of all deployed in altcoins. I don't know if that's the best decision. When we go start primary 5 Bitcoin, though, against the dollar, I think I want to be at least 25 to 40% weighted in Bitcoin, I think is what I'm thinking right now.
Wow. So yeah, a couple more questions here, real quick. Book recommendations. Looking for some reading material here.
Yeah, so if you go to the CryptoWorldNews Discord channel in the Learning Tools, Foos has posted my top 5 book recommendations. The 2 on Elliott Wave aren't really necessary, but those who want to get more in depth into Elliott Wave theory and analysis, highly recommend it. But they're not too necessary. There's actually an Elliott Wave primer link above my recommended book section. I believe it's the post right above it, actually. And in that Elliott Wave basics is pretty much all you really need to know for the 5 up, 3 down pattern, and to start seeing that in the markets. The other 2 books are Trader Psychology, very helpful, and then there's the first book, very simple book, but it was a huge leap forward in my own understanding of the markets and trading. Very simple. It's called The 1 Hour Trade. It's on Amazon. I believe it's $12 book. It's really good. Especially for those of you day trading, I highly recommend picking up that book. Even though it's a traditional stock market book, everything in that book would apply over to these markets because all financial markets are generally the same.
Trader man, thank you so much for your time. Guys, real quick, if you're not on the Discord, type !Discord for your invite. Join this community. It's free and open. Donate to us as well. You see the tip jar on Twitch, as well as in the Discord channel during the stream. Trader Unknown has his own LTC address. You're going to have to scroll up in the chat here. It's being posted as he's talking. If you want to donate directly to him, we encourage that as well. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Awesome, guys. I hope everybody learned a couple things. I'm sure I went a little quick, but I kind of wanted to get through as many charts as possible. You know, if for those of you who recorded it, I'm sure it did get recorded. Just rewatch it and shoot me a question or two if you got it. I'm happy to help.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Trader. Thank you, Mike, as well, for introducing Trader to our community. An incredible hour 20 minutes. Can't thank you enough.
Awesome, guys. Hope everyone has a chill evening, and thanks for having me.
Thanks, dude.